trying to lean back behind them. Now I'm lengthening. But when I do a small spiral to exercise to build up those muscles, I'll lean behind the vertical, try to take the weight off the front end, and slow down the right hind with my weight, my seat, and keep my outside leg behind the girth. Again, until a horse is balanced and correct, he might even do a couple steps. I don't worry about bending him through the rib. If you start bending a horse through the rib without having their balance and take off from behind, you're going to get all messed up, because you'll bend through the rib and the haunches will be in Hong Kong and the front end will be in New York. Now I'm doing something really difficult for him. Canter, off the right hind. And you'll see how I'm lifting out of the way his left shoulder. And now he flips cross canters, but I keep going and he picks up behind to the right lead. Now he tried several steps to keep the balance, and that's difficult because off the right hind, easier for him to do the canter off the left hind than it is the right. But see how relaxing, and now he really wants to go down on the bit and stuff, and because those 6 or 7 strides and just coming off a bit of a corner on the canter to the left, or to the right, left canter to the right, was difficult. Now I just, go forward. Don't make an issue that he flipped on you or cross cantered a couple steps and then went back to the right canter. Because to him, he's not reading a book of correct and incorrect. He's just trying to balance and be true to your ride. And you notice his tail. Always watch this horse's tail, and your horse's tail. It's your barometer. They talk to you. They're breathing. Some horses breathe differently when they're trying real hard. I used to have a horse that used to moan and groan when it got difficult. All these little signals, how what their mouth is like, what their eye is like. And by opening up my inside rein, I'm asking him to go forward and lengthen a little bit. And we're just starting the last few rides to learn how to rock back on the hock. Across the diagonal again. Give him the feeling of canter. Each time you stretch a little bit, the canter was to build up a horse, not just be in a test. And feel free of his balance. So there again, he has to change leads, but that's okay. He's learning his balance. Some horses are born with more of a gazelle kind of say la vie over the ground. Some of them are more like him, which are kind of big and almost not clumsy, but all over, and you have to bring it together. Now the canter off the left hind, of course, is going to be, he's probably going to be able to keep it, sustain it a lot longer, because again, that's his stronger hind leg. And when we go on the long side off that turn, and then I reward him going through the turn, and I lift him up, get the front end out of the way, even though I'm sort of in the half seat there, because turning on the canter for him is awkward at this point. And it's a different feeling. It's just like horses have to learn feelings too. It's not just about muscle and talent and all that. So I'm giving him a new feeling. When he gets confident in that new feeling, he'll stay balanced and on little bit and bent to the outside a little bit. But again, right now the main thing is to give him squared haunches no matter what you do to go through your first counter canters, so the feeling, they don't feel like they're going to fall over. And you're not going to give a horse the feeling if you look at a picture in a book and say that's how you're going to do it first time out. You can feel it in the saddle when your horse starts dropping and everything. So if you go with the feeling and not the picture in your head, it will soon come about. And I'm asking him to go forward and then come back into the trot. But you see, I didn't come back into the trot by having my hands come down and pulling on him. I want him to think forward and up through into the trot and walk. And to strike off into the trot, not roll, kind of like downhill and then go into the trot on the forehand. Again, that's muscle memory. And they like it too. Once they have the physical to do that with, they'll do it every time without me having to have my hands out and open like that. Now I'm asking him for his first real halt, engaged halt. We have two types of halts here. We're going to do baby greens, which basically I give him a signal and he'll halt. But then we have the more difficult halt, which is he has to halt and stay engaged and strike off like he did. We're teaching him not to roll from the trot into the canter, to strike off balanced into the canter. Inevitably, this is going to not only strengthen him also from behind, it's also going to give you really clean, consistent flying changes down the road. We have to do more canters until he's really nonchalant both ways, and he has his understanding from canter through to the walk in one step, and then flying changes are easy because he's going to skip into them rather than roll with speed, centrifugal force, or anything like that. That's basically what they're using on the track when they change their leads. It's the speed times centrifugal force. So when they're at the head of the stretch, even if you're going at a slow gallop, you switch your weight in the stirrups, and the centrifugal force that pushes out, they'll want to change your lead. Here I'm going again for another left canter, and we'll see how he holds this corner. Now as I take his head to the right, I'm making the distance on his right hind shorter. When you bring the head closer to that, and that helped him shorten and feel a little more confident to stay on that right hind. And now I'm rewarding him and saying go forward, and we're going to go easier into the true. So wherever you have the head and neck, you're making that side of the body shorter as well. And that helps him with the weaker hind leg to stay true to that canter. And the first two, and those were my first canters, he couldn't hold it halfway through the corner. And this one, he held all the way through the corner. Part of that's not in this ride, he got stronger. He got more confident. And then he said, oh, that's not so bad. And so he stayed with me on my aids, helping him through the canter.